They called it the Carnival of Stars, a traveling show that brought light, laughter, and wonder to small towns across America. But in the summer of 1978, it brought something else, something the people of Ashgrove still refused to talk about. Because on a rainy night that August, when the carnival packed up to leave town, the train carrying the performers never reached its next stop. And what police found inside those train cars turned a night of joy into a legend of horror. The Carnival of Stars was famous for its illusions, the tightrope walkers, the contortionist, the magician who could vanish the dead. Families came from miles away just to see them. But behind the laughter and the lights, the carnival had secrets. Its owner, Victor Hale, was a man obsessed with perfection. He believed the show wasn't just entertainment, it was a ritual of energy. He often said the performers fed off the crowd's fear. No one took him seriously, until people started disappearing. It began with small things. A missing ticket collector, a clown who never returned after a performance, and strange stains found on the floor of the fortune teller's tent. When townsfolk asked questions, Victor would smile and say, "Every show demands a little sacrifice." Then came August 14th, the final show in Ashgrove. The rain poured so hard it drowned the music, but the carnival performed anyway. The audience huddled under umbrellas, mesmerized as lights flickered and shadows danced across the tents. No one knew they were watching a finale no one would ever forget. After midnight, the carnival began packing up. Performers loaded equipment onto the train that carried the carnival from town to town, but the engine roared to life. It was the last time anyone saw them alive. When the train failed to arrive in the next city, rail workers were sent to investigate. They found the train a few miles off course, parked on an old siding near the woods, lights still flickering inside. But when they climbed aboard, what they found didn't make sense. The first car was empty, except for a record player, spinning a broken tune on loop. The next car was filled with mirrors, each smeared with bloody handprints. And carved into the glass, over and over again, were the words, "The show must go on." By the time investigators reached the fifth car, they realized it wasn't a train anymore. It was a tomb. Every car was part of an elaborate stage, a grotesque recreation of the carnival itself. The magician's box held real human remains. The clown's tent was splattered with red paint that wasn't paint. And at the center, inside the fortune teller's car, sat Victor Hale, smiling lifeless, his eyes stitched open, as if still watching the show. They found one survivor, a teenage girl, the fire breather's assistant, hiding beneath a pile of costumes. She refused to speak for weeks. When she finally did, she said something that made the police shut the case forever. She said, "He told us the show needed energy. He said the crowd wasn't enough." The town buried the performers in a shared grave. The train was dismantled, the wreckage burned to the ground. But still, people claim that on stormy nights, you can hear the faint whistle of a carnival train passing through Ashgrove. Even though the tracks were torn up decades ago, some locals say the train still runs, appearing to travelers on foggy highways or empty country roads. A flash of lights, a flicker of laughter in the dark, and then nothing but silence. Others believe Victor Hale's show never ended. They say he found a way to bind his performers to the train forever, each one doomed to perform their final act for eternity. In 1996, a group of urban explorers entered the old Ashgrove rail yard. They claimed to find a rusted carnival sign, buried beneath the dirt, still faintly painted with the words, "The Carnival of Stars." Their footage cut out mid-recording. All that was left was the sound of a whistle and faint laughter in the distance. To this day, no one has found that tape again. Maybe the train was destroyed. Maybe it never was. But one thing's certain. Somewhere out there, a whistle still echoes through the fog. And when it does, the lights of the Carnival of Stars burn bright again. So if you ever hear music drifting through the night, or see a flicker of color beyond the trees, don't go looking for the source. Because some shows never end, and some tickets you can't return. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more true horror stories every week. Your next nightmare is waiting.